What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead On Dave, and we are live coming at you from Germany at 11 p.m. my time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, your time, and we are here because I haven't been doing enough. I've been having all kinds of problems lately. Excuses, really, because, I'm Dead On Dave. No problems can keep me away from my show, but unfortunately, as of late, it kind of has. So, taking everything in consideration, the best way to make sure that I am spitting out the content that you guys do seem to enjoy is to go to a time where I know that I can do it consistently each and every single day and spit out the best stories going on in the world of wrestling, sports, video games, movies, and anything else that tickles my rather large fancy. And I'm really excited to be here. We got a lot of great stuff to talk about today. We're going to take your guys' calls, your questions, your hopes, your dreams, your comments, your quotes, your quips, and everything else in between. Very excited about that. I'm glad you guys are here hanging out with the copious fat man. I see Joe Martin, Frenchie, Ben, Carl, Gibney. We see CJM Stop Motions. I see Terry, Snow Queen, McCaud, the 114, and many, many others. Thank you guys for joining me. Do appreciate it. We will take your calls a little bit later on. But let's start with what we got. The very first thing I want to get into today, the biggest thing I want to get into today is since I missed both Raw and SmackDown and was not overly impressed with either one of them, I want to talk about probably the most interesting development that we got from either show. And I think that has to be The Miz and Dolph Ziggler. Now, let's start with the promo itself. Let's start there with The Miz and Dolph Ziggler's actual promo. I thought The Miz absolutely tore the house down. Absolutely tore the house down. I thought he did a great job, played up the Cleveland card. I love that he was talking to Dolph Ziggler's parents. I love that he got a little emotional when he talked about his parents. I love the whole thing. I thought he did a really good job. The Miz, when he's been on during this stretch, since he's brought Maurice in, when he has been good, he's been fantastic. But the problem is there's been so little going on with his in-ring stuff most of the time that it seems to have washed the other hand clean. And you know what? I got to say, it's a little unfair. I've probably been a little bit unfair. Now, the Miz part, I absolutely loved. And when Dolph Ziggler came out there, I thought we were in the midst to have a fantastic, one-of-a-kind promo that, you know, it was going to be resonating, was going to hit all the things that we needed it to hit. And the one thing I was sure he was not going to do was screech. And what did he do? He starts screeching into the microphone because it's the only thing that he can do. I know some people gave Dolph a whole hell of a lot of credit for this promo. I didn't. I thought it was just another terrible fucking promo to add into the bonfire of terrible promos cut by Dolph Ziggler. There's been so many. And sure enough, that's what it was for me. It just was not anything of substance. It was not anything of interest. I did not get into it. I didn't like it. And because the guy just can't connect for me. Because when he screeches and he yells, he's not... He's just not doing those things that you want to see out of a really intense... This is supposed to be about his career. You know, screaming isn't necessarily the way to go in this situation for me. You know, we're talking about a situation where The Miz beautifully laid the groundwork for the whole situation, you know, to put up Dolph Ziggler's career. And then Dolph just came out there and just started screeching and screaming. Doesn't do anything for me. That being said, it took very little away for me from the entire situation. Sexy Gorilla, by the way, I'm not high at all. You would think that I am, but I'm not. No drugs. I dislocated my shoulder. No drugs. I'm a baller. Whoop whoop. Anyway. I see Jay Davis, Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah, up in the chat. What's going on, my brother? How you doing? But yeah, as I was saying, the situation, it didn't resonate all the way that I wanted to. Now, that being said, I feel that this is a great storyline. Now, look, I, like many people, are tired of The Miz and Dolph Ziggler. They do get a lot out of each other because they're both from Cleveland. You know, they're friends. They've known each other for a very long time. We saw their episode of Ride Along, which was pretty damn good. They tend to be able to get a lot out of each other, both in the ring and on promos. If Dolph would just pull back a little bit and not screech to the point where his fucking throat is bleeding, which I'm sure it does by the end of those promos. It's all he does. It's all he can do. But all that being said, this is going to be a pretty damn cool situation because Dolph being in the spot that he is right now, the spot that Miz perfectly laid out, the losing all the time, his career going nowhere, the whole shebang-a-bang, it's 100% spot on. So us as viewers, we wouldn't be 100% surprised if The Miz actually beats Dolph Ziggler and ends his career. And I love the fact that The Miz specifically said out of WWE, not take a 30-day sabbatical, not go to NXT, not go to Raw, out of WWE. I love that they specified that. Now, I know the smarks out there, well, this just means it's definitely happening that Dolph Ziggler is winning the match. He will be the new Intercontinental Champion. And you might be right, but on the other side of the coin, I'm not sure how long ago it was that Dolph actually signed his new contract. I think it was about a year ago. And I'm not sure he would have signed for any more than a year. So maybe he's leaving. Maybe it's over. Maybe he's just getting on that saddle and he's flying away. Look, my money is not on him leaving. My money is on him actually winning this match. But here's the thing. Either way they go, it's a win. It's a win. If Dolph wins and becomes the Intercontinental Champion, it's a way to start rebuilding Dolph as a serious guy. Okay? If he loses, he walks away. And The Miz looks even more impressive. So either way, it's pretty damn sweet. Now, Sexy Gorilla says in the chat his contract ends at the end of the month or next month. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I'd have to confirm that. But if that's true, then it's very possible that he's gonna go away. And I hope that's gonna happen. Part of me does. Part of me is like not gonna miss Dolph Ziggler. It's just, I don't know. I won't miss him. I've grown tired of Dolph. The reality is retirement matches are very rarely permanent, and they're not guaranteed to be fantastic. I mean, I take you to the Rock and Mankind back in 1999, Pink Slip on a Pole. That happened. That actually happened. It was bad. It was bad. How about Kevin Sullivan's retirement match against Chris Benoit, Bash at the Beach 97? You know, Flair versus Kennedy 2008. We've seen some awful retirement matches. Kevin Sullivan also had a loser leaves WCW match with Cactus Jack, Fall Brawl 94. Ric Flair versus David Flair. If Ric Flair lost, he'd retire. Great American Bash 2000. I mean, these are just awful. Jericho, who's been involved in many fired matches. Jericho and Cena 2005. I think that's where Jericho was dragged screaming from the building. I want to stay. I believe that was so funny. It's just there are so many bad ones. Triple H and Goldberg, title versus career, Unforgiven 2003. There's just so many bad ones. Now there are some fantastic ones. Obviously, there are ones that just Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, you know, the Cactus Jack, Triple H, 2000, Hell in a Cell, title versus career. There's been some unbelievably great ones. Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels. I mean, when they're at their best and they're done right, they really can be everything that's great about wrestling because they tell this decisive story. They really bring you in. to a point where it's believable. You think that this is real, it's happening, and these guys go away sometimes forever, sometimes they retire for all kinds of different reasons. Now, if the situation is true about Dolph Ziggler and his contract is indeed coming up, we know that Dolph has other aspirations, acting and a whole bunch of other things. So, who knows? I didn't think his contract was already up. I thought he had some more time. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here. I think that they're in a no-lose situation because I don't think people have necessarily enjoyed the matches, but I think most people have enjoyed the promos. I haven't, out of Dolph Ziggler, mainly because it's either screeching or it's Shawn Michaels. What was it, 2 weeks ago, where he actually said the fucking line, "Now hit my music"? He actually said it in the ring. It blew my mind. Blew my mind that he could be so dead on the nose, and I don't understand it. But it's interesting when we see all the different things that are happening within this situation. Because if The Miz wins, he can go on, and the possibilities are endless, man. The possibilities are absolutely endless. There's so many things that they can do. I mean, there really is. Steven Langerheim, hold on. All right, I'm going to grind the show to a halt here for a second. Steven Langerheim. Do you not see that I'm talking about other crap? Now, this is a viewer question show as well. And at some point, I will open it up to viewer questions. But Jesus, man, can you let me talk about the thing that I'm talking about? Steven, I only got one good elbow, but I'll drop it right on your mush. Okay? Don't want to mess with me. I'm all messed up. Just kidding. Not a big deal. We'll talk about the TNA WWE situation a little bit later. I have cut a couple of videos on it. We will talk about that. Okay. Fake ass twat Dave, did you feel the same about Dolph's last promo? I didn't love it. He was screech fest. It was just screeching. To me, that's no emotion is conveyed in that, and that's just my opinion. By the way, hey, if you guys are watching, you like what you're seeing, make sure you hit the like button. Hit that like button. Use your finger and push it. You know what I'm saying? Get up in there and really get a hold of that like button. Push it. Elbow drop, the whole shebang-a-bang. Just hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you've yet to do that as well. All right? So now I open up to you guys. Let's take some calls. I want to hear what you guys think about Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. Who do you think is going to win? What do you think about the entire situation? And then after that, okay, I'll talk about my shoulder. If there's no callers about Dolph Ziggler and The Miz, I'll talk about my shoulder for a second. Everybody fucking seems to care about... Why does everyone care about my shoulder, babe?
I don't know.
Nobody cares about... Why does anybody care about my shoulder?
Maybe I have a cute shoulder.
We'll talk about my shoulder, and then we'll talk about a few other things, and then we'll get to other viewer questions. Chris Payne, but Dave, Ziggler screams really well. No, he doesn't. No, he screeches. I'm sorry. No, he doesn't. I'm not a fan of it. It's just that, and anything that he does do well in promos, I liked it better when Shawn Michaels did it. It's just my opinion. Just my opinion. Rudy Reyes, can we get rid of them both? Dolph and The Miz, both Trump fans. Look, I actually don't mind The Miz most of the time. I do kind of get bored of The Miz's antics at times because it just doesn't resonate very well. Because things that he just does over and over, and then he'll not have any activity for a while. I hate the ultra douchey stuff that he does with the Hollywood career. He seemed to have reined that in a little bit. He stopped dressing like a complete retard. But I'm kind of digging it. My wife's sitting right next to me, and then she joins the damn chat and hits like button or puts an emoji in there. Yes, that's what we do. Jay Davis, I thought Dolph had a good promo this week. Look, if you guys like the promo, you like the promo. There's nothing I could do to deter you from that. I just didn't think screeching did a very good job. It's the same thing he does every time. This was the time to reserve. This was the time to really talk to The Miz. The best part of that was when he called him Mike first. I love that. I love when he said, Mike. He didn't screech Mike at him. He raised his voice just a little bit to get his attention. I like that. But then he goes right back into screeching and screaming. If he just brings it back a little bit, you can captivate the audience. You can connect with more people of the audience, with a bigger section of the audience. When you screech, you're going to alienate a bunch of people. Just what you're going to do, because not everybody likes screeching. I like yelling. I like the old school wrestling yell. Let me tell you something, dude. Come on, bruh. I like that stuff, man. I don't mind it. But screeching. Oh. Anyway. All right. Since everybody seems to be asking about it, yes, I dislocated my shoulder the other day. It wasn't good. Just trying to get up. I have nerve damage on my left side, like most of you guys know. And my arm gave out. I landed on it. And it wasn't good. It hurt like a mug. It hurt like crazy. It really did. I went to a German doctor around here, and he just rubbed it a little bit, thought it was put back in place. It was not put back in place. Thought it was. Still felt weird. I went ahead and I started to get up a little bit again about 12, 16 hours later. And my wife was sitting on the couch, and we heard this gigantic just pop, and my shoulder was deformed forward. We almost went to the hospital, but I can't afford that shit. So we looked up online how to pop a shoulder back into place yourself. We did. It was an experience, and my wife is right. We absolutely should have filmed that shit. I don't know why I didn't, but I did. I didn't. I wish I would have. Popped it into place. It's better. Still hurts, but is what it is. I'm okay, though. I'm here. We're going to be having a good old time. So there you go. Let's get back to some wrestling talk. Of course, another big thing going on in the wrestling world right now is the ongoing talks of TNA. There is so much up in the air with TNA right now. There's all kinds of reports of flights being canceled, of all kinds of people. Well, before we really get into that, let's take a call, because I see Frenchie Ben's calling. I really want to take his call. Frenchie Ben, you know I'm going to always take your call, man. What's going on, buddy? You're live, Dead on Dave.
I'm doing good. Not like you. You're broken. You got
I know,
deleted.
Right? It sucks, man.
I wanted to talk maybe a bit about wrestling and one or two things about hockey.
Yeah, whatever you got, man.
Maybe it's because I don't watch wrestling every week that I liked the Miz and Dolph promo.
I loved Miz. I'm just not a fan of the screeching. Dolph's screeching just doesn't do it for me. And I'm not saying it was a terrible promo out of Dolph. I just don't think it was brilliant, because we've seen it every week for the past since this whole situation with the Miz started. Dolph Ziggler's come out there and screeched at the Miz, and usually throwing a Shawn Michaels-ism at the end, like he did last week with "Hit My Music." I mean, it makes me goddamn sick to my ass. It really does. But I liked what he did this week, mostly, aside from the screeching. But please continue.
Even in what they said, there was a part that was stupid, because Miz told, "You're gonna ask me for another match as usual," and that's what Dolph did. So that part I didn't like, but the rest is okay. I just hope that Ziggler wins the match, so they go someplace else, or maybe a comeback match, and I don't know from there.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation, because like I'm torn here, because I think you could tell a great story either way. I think if the Miz wins, Dolph leaves and all of that, the Miz is on a different level. You know, that Intercontinental Championship really can mean something. Maybe it's Daniel Bryan time after that. Maybe there's something else going on. Maybe another guy from NXT eventually comes in and knocks him off. If Dolph wins, then you have a redemption story where Dolph is getting his career finally back on track and all of this stuff. There's plenty of things you could do either way. So, I mean, I'm torn on this one.
Okay. I want to come back on one match that I really appreciate on the Clash of Champions.
Yes.
It's the Sheamus and Cesaro match.
It's a good match, man.
It's a match that grew on me. At first, I didn't care about the match, but I like the two guys, essentially Cesaro, even though I think he does too much uppercuts.
You're not a fan, huh?
Not when it's too much done.
Yeah.
There's some wrestlers that have great sets of move and they could vary a bit more.
If he didn't throw the damn thing so well, I would disagree with you. But he throws it so well. So I never get tired of it. I've never really. It's personally, I've always been a big fan of the European uppercut. It's been one of my favorite moves. Like just simple moves. It's so effective, and if you do it right, it does hardly any damage. There's no risk of like an errant punch and stuff. So I kind of like it from a safety standpoint as well.
Yeah, I really appreciate the corkscrew uppercut from the ropes. Yeah. This is amazing. For example, a move that was great was the moonsault of Charlotte on the two girls. It was superb.
Yeah.
In another match, but during the Cesaro and the Sheamus match, it grew on me because I felt that Sheamus was on the edge. He was trying to do more. I don't know if it was botch moves or if it was expected to come out that way, because at one point he threw himself into Cesaro in the corner and it kind of looked goofy, but at the same time it looked like there was urgency in the match.
Yeah, it was supposed to look that way, and that's why I was so upset with the end. I was so upset with the finish, and then the subsequent. I hate. Oh God, Foley telling everybody to kiss his ass, and then he comes out and puts him in a goddamn tag team.
Yeah,
really just. They've done it. If Cesaro hadn't been in this exact same storyline before with Tyson Kidd, maybe I'd care a little bit more. But the fact is, we've seen this, man, and. While it worked with Tyson Kidd, it ain't working with Sheamus, man.
Maybe it's
Go ahead.
Maybe it's because I came back to wrestling in 2014, so there's a part of the history that I miss, and I think it's good for me because I'm entertained with what I see when I do.
If it's entertaining, that's all that matters, man.
It was an unexpected finish. It was. I'm torn on this one. It was kind of stupid, and at the same time, I liked it.
I don't like this when you're doing a best of 7 and you go with the 3-0 lead to a complete comeback, and then the one thing that you don't think could happen, but is the most obvious thing that they could do, is to have it as a draw. So to say, oh, we're going to give you even more, even though it's not working. All anybody did was complain about Cesaro and Sheamus week in and week out. And anybody who's saying now, well, I like them as a tag team, you're a goddamn liar. Because it's a horrible tag team. It's a horrible tag team.
I don't for now.
And what, these guys are going to be the ones to take the belts off the New Day? I mean, what's the point of this? And then the very next fucking night, later that night, Cesaro and Daniel Bryan talking about on Twitter about getting over to SmackDown. It makes absolutely no sense.
Okay, I didn't saw that part. And I really appreciate also that Cesaro did a 619. It was well done, and because he's so athletic. And Sheamus, he's some form of a powerhouse. I like his the way he looks. I think they can do a good tag team, but for now, I'm not impressed.
Yeah, they can do a whole hell of a lot. The thing is, if it was SmackDown, and that's where they were at, I think it would work a little bit better. But the fact is, you got Cass and Enzo, you got the New Day, you got even the club. The club really looked like they were going to get the titles, and they didn't get them. And now we're supposed to care about two guys that are put together in the odd couple fucking tag team. The prototypical odd couple tag team that we've seen. And the first thing that Michael Cole does is talk about the Rock and Sock. This is not the Rock and Sock connection. This is nowhere close to the Rock. And this is two people that have a really hard time connecting with the fans in completely different ways. Cesaro's able to do it for stints, but whenever he really needs the fans to be behind him at the right times to help his push continue, they always die out. And people are going to be like, no, they don't. Fucking go back and watch tapes. Yes, they fucking do.
But in the case...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But in the case of Cesaro, it seems like it's the company that breaks his momentum all the time.
I think that was 3 years ago with the Paul Heyman thing. After that, what have they done? They reestablished his career with Tyson Kidd. They've given he got hurt. That's on him too. Now he's more tape than man now. And I think you might be onto something with the uppercut thing. Maybe he does stuff a little bit too much. I don't know, man.
Especially when there are more than two people in the ring. When everybody's in his corner and he goes around in the four corners, it's goofy to me.
I think that can get really goofy.
Yeah, but it's overdone and it doesn't come out as being real. Because I really like when things look good and look real. I think most of us are like that. So
for the most part.
So when
sometimes I don't mind it when it's extra goofy if there's a point to it,
And it was funny to me because when they stopped the match, I heard some analysis from Marks and Smart Marks that said, they injured people in the crowd, but it was so obvious that it was plants.
It was ridiculous. The whole thing was ridiculous.
So just one thing about hockey before I leave.
Yes, please hit me up with the ice, man.
Because tonight, of course, it's probably the last match of the 2016 World Cup of Hockey. Team Europe against Canada.
Is that a prediction? You led off with a prediction. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, of course. Canada is going to win tonight. It's going to be probably a closer match than it was Tuesday. But Canada, we're as good in hockey as you do in basketball. So.
Oh, the fact is, Canada is the most talented team in the entire tournament. I mean, you can make the argument that Team North America wasn't far behind in pure talent, but I think the better team obviously was Canada. Europe has been plucky. You know how I feel about plucky teams, man. They've played really well. The fact is, if what's his name in net? What's his fuck?
Alak.
Yeah, if he
Price.
For Europe. If he gets going again and he stands on his head like he did the first two games, they can extend this to the decisive game 3.
Yeah, I don't want that because I go to dinner at a golf tournament on Saturday, so no way. They have to win tonight.
For out of convenience for Frenchie Ben, you guys must end this shit tonight. All right, there you go. You got anything else for me, Ben?
No, nothing. So have a nice day and take care of your shoulder, Dave.
I will try, my friend. Great call, man. I appreciate it. It's good to hear from you, buddy.
Thank you.
Take it easy,
Ciao.
man. Frenchie Ben, everybody. He is French, and he's Ben. Good call, man. Really good call. All right, let's go ahead and we'll talk about the TNA situation just a little bit. I see a lot of people in the chat talking about that. So let's go ahead and get into it just for a few minutes because it does seem to be quite interesting, man. Like I was saying before, whole bunch of reports of people getting, delayed, their flights getting on standby, some flights canceled. There's all kinds of reports. We don't know what's true and what's not. We're not exactly sure what's happening here. There's not even 100% certainty that the pay-per-view this weekend is going to happen. Even Billy Corgan doing his whole thing, his media rounds today, could not guarantee, I think it's Bound for Glory, is happening. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. I mean, to even say that, to be able to make that statement that you just don't know after you've marketed and you've set up matches and you got guys on Twitter, you got Damian Sandow, Tyler Rex, whatever he's going by now, talking about all these things and without knowing that it's 100% happening. If the tapings next week for Impact can happen, this is insane to me. And to me, it speaks volumes about just how deep the problem with TNA goes. Even if the Smashing Pumpkins man himself, Billy Corgan, is able to buy the company outright, I don't know if he's going to have the money to be able to keep it going long term. Look, the ratings have not improved since fucking Final Deletion. They've gone back down. People stopped caring. It's TNA. I don't see it. I tried to watch it. I tried to get into it. I still will not be convinced that anything Matt Hardy is good for business. It's not mass appealing enough. It does not work. I don't care how creative it is. In my book, you still have to be good. And to me, it's not good. And I think that, the fact that 320,000 people are watching kind of tells you it's kind of the reality of it. So to add an extra layer of intrigue to the entire situation, a whole bunch of people are now bidding on TNA, and one of them seems to be quite vigorously WWE. They were in it a few weeks ago. They made a bid, whatever. Didn't seem like it was going to happen. Now that they still have not been able to make a deal between Dixie or Billy Corgan and whoever else is involved, WWE is reportedly slinked back into negotiations and are coming up with a better offer. And some of the lingo, the language that you're hearing, that you're reading, it kind of seems like there is a good possibility that WWE would buy TNA rather than let it completely fold. And it makes total sense for them. Look, they're not going to pay a lot of money regardless for anything. There are some talents within TNA that WWE can certainly make use of. Bobby Lashley obviously being one of them. I guess if you want to use the Hardys and feed them to the Wyatts, go ahead, you can do that. You have a whole bunch of other guys. Hell, bring in Tyler Rex, bring in Damian Sandow. How great would that be? Oh my God, that would be fucking funny. And Drew, the whole shebang. Oh my God, that would be great. So you have a whole bunch of things that you could do talent-wise. Some of these guys would serve very well, especially now with this whole situation with SmackDown and Raw and the depth and all of that stuff. And if you need to continue to feed talent in to NXT, you have a lot of people that you could go for that are in TNA that could serve it. Look, a lot of it's going to be dead weight. I mean, just reality of the situation. But the value's in the tape library. That's where it is. Look, I think that you could buy TNA and make it a brand on the network. On the network. That's the thing. I would keep TNA alive and have it as its own exclusive show on the WWE Network. Build out other brands. Let somebody run it. Maybe even retain Billy Corgan and let him legitimately run it. You just be the backer. And if they turn a profit for you, if they're able to really do some things, you're just going to make money. The fact is you're going to have them reach more people on the network than they're reaching right now on Pop TV. Just the reality of the situation, man. I think there is a lot of great stuff that you could do with TNA outside of just having a tape library, which is so damn valuable. Look, we're talking, 12 to 15 years worth of content, great matches in there, a lot of guys that you can go ahead and help build even better that are in your company now, whether it be the glorious one, Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, Samoa Joe, the WWE champion, AJ Styles. I mean, you have guys that this library can certainly benefit. So you have all of these things. It's pretty wonderful of a situation that's kind of falling into WWE's hand. And Billy Corgan said it perfectly today on one of the outlets that he was talking on. He was asked, look, how do you beat WWE in a bidding war? You don't. You can't. He said these words, if WWE really wanted TNA, they could pop down a price right now and get it. If they wanted to. I don't think they want to overpay for TNA. Why would you? There's no reason to it. And the fact that WWE hasn't full-on swept in means one of two things. One, they're not all that interested even in the tape library, which I do find that a little dubious. I think that they would have some interest in that tape library. The second is simply that they know that no deal is going to get struck between Corgan and Dixie or whoever else is involved at this point. Whatever bank is owning all of this shit. Whatever's keeping shit held up, WWE seems to have a very good idea that this is not going to work out. Maybe they want to buy it for pennies on the dollar. Maybe that's their plan. It's a risky plan, but maybe they don't feel that it's a huge risk. Because if they do get bought up, who knows how much longer the company's going to be able to go on before it fully goes under. It's pretty crazy, man. It's an interesting situation. I personally would like to see WWE buy TNA. I think the TNA brand still has value. I think it could be used wonderfully on the network, and I would like to see it, man. I really would. So those are the big stories happening right now, man. So here's what I'm going to do now. We're going to open it up to you, some of y'all botches, and I want to hear from you guys, man. It's viewer question time. I do want to talk about Jose Fernandez, so I would not mind Joe Martin calling. I know he wants to talk a little baseball, but if anybody else has things that they want to talk about, whether it be sports, whether it be wrestling, whether it be television shows, American Horror Story's back. I'm loving that shit right now. Son of Zorn, if you're not watching that, that's fantastic. If you want to talk movies, whatever you want to talk about, now's the time. Call in on Skype, David Vancura, DavidVancura, or the number 702-751-2902. All right, let's go ahead and take a call. Looks like it is the Martin of Joe. What's going on? You're live then on Dave.
What's going on, Dave?
Hang out one second. Fake ass twat in chat says, "Hey Dave, you predictably hate the Randall and Bray segment on SmackDown. You mean their supernatural game of tag? Yeah, I hated it. You liked it? Let me know if you liked it, and you could eat me. No, I did not like it. Anyway, Mr. Martin, what's going on, buddy? It's been a hell of a week in baseball, man. Very sad, emotional, and magical all at the same time. I assume you want to talk about Jose Fernandez. You want to kick off with there?
Yeah, I'm just feel I'm gonna miss him. I watched this thing where I asked people, well, why are you going to like the funeral? They go, oh, because I miss his like personality, and I feel like everyone's gonna miss that about him because he had so much love for the game.
24-year-old spark plug, man. This kid was he had just such a big love and passion for the game. He was an amazing talent. We're talking about early Hall of Fame credentials. You know, if you extrapolate this early, you know, going throughout his career, the type of stuff this kid has. Whew.
Gee, I think he had I think he could have been not a Pedro Martinez, as he had that potential if he would have.
He was on track to set the record all time in Major League Baseball history for Ks per nine this year. He was on track. That's unfathomable to me, man.
I can't believe it. There was stuff coming out today. I don't know if you've seen like his friends were texting him because he was like angry or something and something like that. I don't know.
There are more reports that are coming out as time goes on. There's some reports that he was spotted at a bar nearby the ocean, right by, really a little bit before he would inevitably crashed his boat into that damn jetty. How fucking sad. There's reports of him getting into a fight with his girlfriend, needing to blow off steam. Multiple Marlins, his teammates turned him down going out on the boat with him. Because who wants to go
Ozuna,
boating?
right?
Yeah, Ozuna and a couple other teammates said that they did as well. And they also knew a bunch of teammates knew he was going out there. Midnight. Wow. Who goes boating at midnight? Who wants to do that, man?
Yeah. Especially, it was 3 a.m, actually. Because
it was past midnight. Yeah.
He had a game at 1 o'clock. I don't understand that. I mean, like, I know you're not pitching because I think I told you he was scheduled to start Sunday. So if he was never pushed back, he would have never died.
Yeah.
Because he would have been sleeping.
It's awful,
just so
man.
sad.
I do have a feeling, and this is just my experience with this type of shit. It was not going to surprise me if there ends up being alcohol in his system. And that's even, and we went through it with Oscar Tavares a few years back. That was, tragic. He took somebody with him as well. He took his girlfriend. Jose Fernandez had 2 other people on the boat as well. But look, I didn't talk about this quite yet, mainly because of the fact that I didn't know if I can get through it. I got to be completely honest. For those of you guys who don't know what's going on with Jose Fernandez, he's a 24-year-old superstar pitcher and arguably face of the franchise of the Miami Marlins. The other night, he went out boating in his high-speed jet boat, like 3 o'clock in the morning, had a couple of buddies with him, and going full damn speed, crashed into a fucking jetty, killed all 3 of them. One of the rare times you'll see a baseball game get canceled for non-weather situations. The Sunday game between, I believe, the Atlanta Braves and the Marlins was canceled. And then they opened up a series on Monday against the Mets. And then something happened. I'll let you keep going in a second, Joe. Just let me finish this up real quick. Then something happened the next day that tends to happen in baseball more frequently than in other sports. Baseball is a magical sport. There's these wonderful moments that tend to find their way into it. A teammate of Jose Fernandez and a guy who was suspended earlier this year for performance-enhancing drugs, D. Gordon, who's a left-handed hitter, goes to the batter's box wearing Jose Fernandez's right-handed batter's helmet and stands in the batter's box on the right-hand side, takes the first pitch as a tribute to Jose. After the first pitch, he goes and he switches back over to left side, works the count to 2-2, and then blasts his first home run of the season. All the feels were felt as he is rounding the bases. Everybody's losing their minds, crying. He's breaking down as he is crossing home plate. The amount of energy, just everything that happened in that situation, it was just one of those things. I welled up. It was very difficult to deal with as a baseball fan. I'm not a Marlins fan. I do like Jose Fernandez, though. And the game lost an unbelievable talent and ambassador for a culture of people. Cuban Americans and Cubans really, really, really resonated with this kid. We're talking about a guy who tried 3 different times to escape Cuba in his youth. 3 different times. And on the successful time, he actually dove into the water to save his mother who was drowning. I mean, incredible fucking story of this kid. If you really want to just get entertained and enthralled and captivated by a man, go really look into the story of Jose Fernandez, because despite its ending, what might it be, it was pretty damn incredible. Joe, what else you got for me?
Well, yeah, the part that really touched me, it wasn't so much the D. Gordon home run. The way the Mets, even though it was a playoff game that basically determined the playoffs.
But it had some semblance.
Yeah. I mean, to see the Mets, you don't see this in baseball. They started hugging and walking out to each other. And then
you see it in moments like this. You see it in transcending moments when somebody dies or somebody's retiring. You see teams on same thing going on with Poppy all year. You do see this in baseball. This is common in baseball because the players in the moments tend to transcend the game. It doesn't happen all the time, mind you. I mean, we saw it happen all last year with Jeter, with number two.
Yeah,
Jeter. We saw that. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, the ending though, when they all dropped the hats, I literally started crying.
When they dropped the hats, they dropped those hats. I picked up a Kleenex. That was just sad, man.
Yeah. So on to latest. So how do you feel about your Cubs?
I feel pretty damn good about my 100-plus win Chicago Cubs. I feel pretty damn good going into the playoffs. Joe Madden's getting everybody nice and rested. And by the way, I will be live for each and every Chicago Cubs playoff game. I will be live doing a live reaction just like I did last year. I'll be live for each and every single one of them, even if it takes precedent of wrestling. That is the one time where maybe I'll just cover them both as they're going on. Because I got a feeling the Cubs are doing it, maybe. It's going to happen.
I mean, I'm going to pull for in the National League, I'm going to pull for the Cubs. And I'm also going to pull for the Indians. I want to see that World Series. I want to see it happen.
I kind of want to see Boston, Chicago a little bit more. We're talking about, I mean, look, there are 2 teams that are very similar. There are so many storylines. Of course, you got the Theo connection. You got John Lester playing against his former team. You got all these wonderful storylines and the ballparks. I mean, going back and forth between Wrigley Field and Fenway. Oh, oh my God.
I mean, my dad's an Indians fan. He told me, Joe, I swear I do not want to play Boston in the playoffs
Nobody
until
does.
I mean, Boston is I have a feeling they're going to rake right when they get into the playoffs.
David Price is David Price is getting it going. All of those young hitters, man, just like the Cubs. It's a scary team,
fuck
man.
the Nationals.
No, not the
Fuck
Nationals.
the Nationals.
Okay, I'm with that.
I can't stand them.
I wasn't talking about the Nationals, but I agree. Fuck the Nationals, too. Anything else? Because you've tanked my ratings, man. Like, literally 12 people left because of you.
I'm sorry, Dave. All right, man. I'm going to let you get back to your show. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Joe. Good call, buddy. Take it easy. Joe Martin, everybody. The ratings juggernaut that is Joe Martin. We got a bunch of other things I'm sure that we can get to. If not today, then sometime throughout the week. So let's take some more calls if we got them. Now's the time on Skype. David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA. Or, of course, the number 702-751-2902. If not, I don't mind getting out of here because this is killing me. My shoulder is absolutely killing me. So I would not mind getting hell up out of here. If you're looking for things to watch tonight, of course, we got the hockey game, the game 2 of the World Cup of Hockey versus Team Europe versus Canada, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN2. You guys can watch that, of course. I don't think there's. I guess there's. I don't know what's going on with wrestling stuff. There might be some going on tonight. I have no idea. Tomorrow night, what I could tell you, we got ourselves Nerd and the Jerk, bitches. That's right. I'm super excited myself and the legendary comedian Jake Link. We're going to be here talking about the election a little bit, just a little bit. Well, at least a part of the election. We're going to talk about Donald Trump and how it's being reported that it might be Andy Kaufman wearing a disguise. And I think there's a very good possibility of it happening. So there you go. Rudy Reyes. Dave, will WWE keep 3-round judge matches if they buy TNA? No, they won't. There you go. Al Clemens, no one watches hockey if haven't been good since the Mighty Ducks. Gordon Bombay for life, motherfucker. Kyle Lorch, Dave, what do you think about the career versus title? Do you think Ziggler will win? Did you miss the entire first? Did he really just ask that question, babe?
I guess so.
Are you seriously? Did you get hit with a tack hammer before you wrote that? I talked about it. Go watch the beginning of the goddamn show again. I'm not sure. I think that they can go either way. I do think Ziggler will win, though. There you go. Anthony Castillo, thoughts on this week's NXT? It was okay. I'm more looking forward to the next 2 weeks of NXT. They're going to be pretty damn good. I'm really excited about that. Rudy Reyes, fuck Trump. There you go. Josh Lyons, fuck Trump 16. I'm down with that as well because anyone but Hillary. Look, Darth Vader's doing a campaign on Twitter. I'd kind of be down with that. Chris Payne, Dave, what are your thoughts about the UFC 205 card? Yeah, oh man. A card that looked like it was going to have nothing for their first go in New York is now suddenly stacked. You got 2 women's matches, fights, 1 a title match. You got a returning former champion. There's all kinds of stuff there. Weidman's going to be on that card. It's going to be a nice card. I'm really excited about that. Let's see. We got another caller. Fake ass twat. Holy shit. He's actually calling in. What's going on, Fake? You're live with Dead on Dave. How you going to fuck this up, Fake? God. I try to give this kid a chance. Give Fake a chance, right? Unbelievable. Joe Martin, are you going to do picks? Dave, me, and Sean, top. Yeah, I know. You guys are kicking ass. I'm not doing very well in the Dead on Dave Pick'em League, unfortunately. Better than I did the first 2 weeks, but still not great. The spread's killing me. Spread's killing me, boy. Oof. It's not good. Yeah, we will be doing the picks. Jake and I, I'm sure we'll close out the show. We might not do them all. We might do 3 to 5 each instead of the entire thing. But there you go. Fake ass twat, fantastic troll job. You got me again. You made me think that you really wanted to call in. But you didn't. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, here's a little bit of breaking news. This is kind of interesting. Hot off the presses, courtesy of WrestlingInc.com. Not only is the terrible WWE product, its stock is above $20 again. That's not the big news. Here's the big news. New teams have been announced for the second NXT Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And I gotta say, I'm pretty excited about this news because we've heard about some of the other teams. I don't know, spoiler alert, I think it might have happened this week. You had the Perfect 10 or Gloriously Perfect, whatever it's called. Ty Dillinger and Bobby Roode. And all these, of course, you got Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. You got Andrade and Cedric Alexander. The Revival are in it. 2 new teams have been announced. The first one, Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli, which is one of the most muscular teams I think I have ever heard in my life. But here's the big one. Hideo Itami and Kota Ibushi. Kota Ibushi returning to NXT or going to NXT. I don't think he's signed. Let's not get too excited. But he will be in the Tag Team Classic and he will be partnering with Hideo Itami. Look, there are a few things to get me super, super excited. But this is one of them. Kota Ibushi and Hideo Itami will be teaming in the Dusty Rhodes. Look at the smile right now. That's amazing. Oh my God. The Dusty Rhodes Classic starts next week. Not all matches have been filmed yet. This is crazy. Oh my God. Hideo Itami and Kota Ibushi. Whew. Lordy me, I think I got the vapors. Whew. That's wonderful. Jay Davis asked, Dave, would you say SmackDown is the better show? I think they're closer than they've ever been, but as long as we keep getting weird shit like that supernatural game of tag between Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, it's hard for me to say anything definitively. SmackDown once again had another problem this week. For a 2-hour show, it just seems like there should have been more wrestling. There wasn't. I want a little bit more wrestling out of SmackDown. I think that's kind of my one big thing. I'd like more wrestling out of SmackDown. And once that happens, absolutely. I think it's a better show. Because Raw with Foley, which I am going to cut a video on Foley, by the way. Mick Foley might be the worst GM in the history of wrestling. He is. I went from really liking what Foley does, to cooling to now I just want him off my fucking TV. And you could just tell him, have a nice day. You know, Jim, you think it doesn't hurt me when Dead on Dave says these things, but it does. Yeah, I know, and I don't care, Mick. Get the F out. That's all I'm saying. Let's see here. Sexy Gorilla Dave, thoughts on Sanity members? Love it. Love the Sanity members. I love Eric Young. I like the chick. She's crazy. I love it. I love the whole damn setup. People are going to be like, it's the decay. Yeah, a little bit maybe. But you know what? It's kind of cool because NXT hasn't had a faction in a very long time. Could be a lot of fun. They look like they could start some shit. So I'm pretty excited about Sanity. Looks to be a lot of fun. So there are my thoughts on that. I think that's about it. We're going to go ahead and get this thing wrapped up. Final chance to call in on Skype. David Vancura, DavidVancura. And, of course, number 702-751-2902. Other than that, I think that we have just about... Oh, that was good. Good fart. Just about gilded that lily as much as we possibly could. Did you just huff at my fart? Don't huff at my fart. Breathe it in. Love my gas. Love my gas.
No.
Yes, you know you wanna. No. Come on. Final thought here. People are asking me about Josh Gordon. Just looked it up. Yes, Josh Gordon of the Cleveland Browns will not be returning after week 4 like people thought he was going to because he is entering rehab. And this is his quote via ESPN. After careful thought and deep consideration, I've decided I need to step away from pursuing my return to the Browns and my football career to enter inpatient rehabilitation facility. Gordon said in a statement Thursday, "This is the right decision for me and one that I hope will enable me to gain full control of my life and continue on a path to reach my full potential as a person. I appreciate the support of the NFL, NFLPA, and the Browns, my teammates, my agent, and community through an extremely challenging process. He failed another drug test. That's my thoughts on this. He's not doing this because his weed problem is more out of control than it was. He failed the drug test. That's what I think. That's what I think. So there it is. That's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you guys are excited about the fact that Dead on Dave Live is back on a daily basis, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, each and every single day. Very excited about it. Hope you guys are too, man. Won't be on Mondays or Tuesdays or every other Friday, but every other day you can expect the Dead on Dave Live at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow night there will be no Because We Got Nerd and the Jerk with the legendary comedian Jake Link. We're going to have a lot of fun, so make sure you're here for that at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Other than that, that's all I got. Thank you guys very much. We'll see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Make sure you're checking out everything going on within the community. We got another 5 random questions for anybody who was supposed to be on 5 random questions with my next round of interviews. I'll be starting that up next week because I've just got locked in Andre Corbiel. I will be interviewing Andre Corbiel, who works for, of course, Vince Russo. Used to work for the legendary Bill Apter. Can't wait to talk to him. He's going to sit down with me for 5 random questions. Very excited about that. So thank you guys very much. We'll see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always, if you don't have talent,
Have talented friends.
come on, say it with some fucking passion.
Have talented friends.
Fucking A, right. Now let's go have sex. We'll see you next time. Keep it copious. I ain't having sex. Peace. Take it easy, guys.